New York's rain-soaked streets glistened under the flickering streetlights as I made my way to Sullivan's bar. The city's hum was muted by the downpour, creating an eerie backdrop to my evening. I had heard rumors, whispers among the locals about supernatural occurrences, but I dismissed them as mere urban legends. Yet, curiosity lured me in, like a moth to a flame. As I pushed open the heavy oak door, a chill cascaded down my spine. The bar was dimly lit, with a few scattered patrons lost in their drinks. The air was thick with the smell of aged whiskey and something else. Something I couldn't quite place. Something ancient and unsettling. I slid onto a weathered bar stool, my fingers tracing the deep grooves etched into the wood. The bartender, an old man with eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 stories, approached. His gaze lingered a moment too long, as if assessing whether I was another soul, drawn here by the tales. "What'll it be?" he asked, his voice gravelly yet gentle. "Whiskey, neat," I replied, trying to sound braver than I felt. He nodded, pouring the amber liquid into a glass. As I took a sip, the warmth spread through me, momentarily chasing away the chill. I glanced around, noting the faded photographs lining the walls, sepia-toned memories of the bar's past, the eyes of the people within watching, almost alive. Suddenly, the room grew colder, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones, making you shiver despite the layers you wear. The air seemed to hum with an unseen energy. I felt a presence, unseen but palpable, brushing against my consciousness. My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic rhythm that matched the flickering lights above. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw it, a figure, shadowy and indistinct, lurking at the edge of the room. Its form was there, and then not, like smoke dissipating in the breeze. I blinked, and it was gone, leaving behind only a suffocating sense of dread. "Did you see that?" I whispered to the bartender, my voice barely audible over the soft murmur of conversation. He nodded slowly, his expression somber. "You're not the first, and you won't be the last. Sullivan's has its ghosts." The word ghosts hung in the air, resonating with an unspoken weight. I took another sip of my whiskey, seeking courage in its fiery embrace. Each swallow was a shield against the fear clawing at my insides. I turned back to the room, determined to face whatever haunted this place. The shadows seemed to dance at the edges of my vision, taunting me with their ephemeral presence. I focused on the details, the way the light caught the dust motes suspended in the air, the creak of the floorboards, the distant sound of laughter that wasn't quite human. Then, without warning, a chill wind swept through the bar, extinguishing the candles on the tables. In the sudden darkness, I felt a presence beside me, a whisper of breath against my ear. The words were unintelligible, a garbled murmur that sent ice coursing through my veins. My instincts screamed for flight, yet I remained rooted to the spot, a mix of terror and defiance holding me in place. I reached out, my hand trembling, to touch the space where I felt the presence. My fingers met nothing but empty air, yet the sensation lingered, an invisible tether binding me to the unknown. Steeling myself, I closed my eyes, focusing on my breathing, willing calmness to override my fear. I recalled the tales of courage, of people who faced their fears, who dared to confront the darkness. I would not be a victim of my own mind. Slowly, I opened my eyes. The candles flickered back to life, casting a gentle glow across the room. The bar was unchanged, yet everything felt different, as if the very air had shifted. The shadowy figure was gone, leaving only the echo of its presence. The bartender watched me with a knowing smile, his eyes reflecting a quiet respect. "You faced it," he said simply, as though that was all there was to it. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. I downed the last of my whiskey, the liquid burning a path down my throat. The fear was still there, a lingering specter, but courage had carved out a space beside it. As I left Sullivan's bar, the rain had eased to a gentle drizzle. The city's lights shimmered in the puddles, and the air was fresh with the promise of a new day. I walked away, feeling lighter, the burden of fear lifted, replaced by a newfound strength. The stories of Sullivan's would continue, whispered among those who dared to venture inside. But for me, it was a tale of facing the unknown, of finding courage in the darkest of places. And I knew that, no matter what other shadows lurked in the world, I was ready to meet them. Have you uncovered the hidden object for what haunts the next video? Thank you for listening. We'll be waiting for you again very soon.